Knowing that there is a problem with homelessness in our community is not the same as understanding it. In the world, 100 million people are homeless. In America, 564,708 people are without homes, and in Portland, Oregon alone, 4,000 people are homeless. In order to be able to understand the issue more, we decided to talk to Shannon Cogan from Sisters of the Road Cafe.
There's all sorts of random art that people made for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sisters is a place where homeless people can go to get food in more of a restaurant setting.
Just quickly, can you tell us your name and how long you've been working here?
My name is Shannon Cogan, and I have been working here since August of 2014, so about 2.5 years.
How did you get started here?
I got started at Sisters as a volunteer. We have a couple volunteers every year that are in programs where they function as staff. And so I was in the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, and I worked part-time in the cafe and part-time in our food justice programming.
After talking with Shannon, we discovered a little more about her. She personally has never experienced homelessness, yet she has dedicated her life to helping.
And do you think that people, especially in our community, tend to ignore the fact of homelessness?
I would say yes and no. I certainly think it's been a hot topic of conversation the past couple of years in the media and kind of as a general discourse as it's become more visible and started hitting people with relative privilege again. As it starts getting closer and closer to the middle class, there are people who have kind of gotten together. It's like Portland Tenants United and all of those tenants advocacy groups have really kind of sprung to the forefront of talking about the housing crisis. But we've been here for 37.5 years, and so there have been people sleeping on the streets and in shelters and without housing security for that long. So I wouldn't say that it's a new problem, kind of as housing has been devalued by federal and state programs, not considered a public good, kind of have ended up at this place. And I think a lot of people in Portland might walk by people they see on the streets and not acknowledge them, but maybe know about the housing crisis and that houselessness is a problem. So, there's there are a lot of different levels there of awareness and conversation and action.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest issue facing the homeless community today?
The biggest issue, the lack of affordable housing and skyrocketing housing prices in Portland.
And our last question.
And to be able to even further understand the problem in our community, we
we
asked what we could do, especially at our age, being the youth of the community, to help people in homelessness.
I'm not sure how to phrase this, help with the problem or help those experiencing houselessness.
Well, I think in every neighborhood in Portland there are people who are sleeping outside, and so kind of getting to know your neighbors, even though they might be people without a house structure they're living in. I think that's a first step that everybody can take. But then there's a lot of organizations and groups that are doing a lot already, and so maybe going to street groups or going to Portland Tenants United or going to Sisters and saying, if I had a group of people, what are the ways that we could get involved, but really doing it within your community and with your network.
It was really nice to be able to talk with Shannon and really kind of get an inside scoop on what's really going on and how we can help. If we want to be able to do something about the issue at hand, we need to start recognizing it in our own community. These people are living without a home. They walk the same sidewalks that we walk on. They go on the same roads that we are on every day. And yet, we live in two completely different worlds. And like Shannon said, if we are able to learn to recognize homelessness in our communities and recognize how to help in our specific communities, we will be able to tackle the bigger picture. If we can support them and improve their lives in any little way that we can, that will help significantly. We just need to learn to recognize it and be aware of the issue of homelessness and learn to fully understand it. If we are able to recognize it, we are able to stop it.